May our lives be filled with action and less reaction. Yeah. As I was driving here this morning, I have a confession, and this is a ridiculous confession, but I got to this spot on the road where I was turning right at a red light, and nobody was there. I mean, it was like no one's home, red. And, in my mind, I slowed down for a moment in my mind. I was going slow, but there was its own lane. It had its own lane. Nobody was around from any direction. And I just took it like a green light. I went right. I didn't go through the light, but I took a right? Like, what's the point in stopping there? Nobody's here. And in the back of my mind, I even questioned, wait, you do have to stop at the red lights even when you're turning right, don't you? Or do you? Right? Yeah, someone's like, kinda. If nobody's there, if somebody's there. But it was automatic, and I literally had to check myself, wait, I know, if we just stop, we usually stop and then we go, but I kind of think I can go through that, and I just go through that. And after it, I was like, yeah, pretty sure that was entirely illegal. Happy Sunday conversation, little kids, and I'm around them right now in my life a lot, and they do that with their boogers. Do you know what I'm saying? They get a booger, and where does it go? I mean, it's a stage. They go out of it because we're all not doing it. Well, sometimes people are doing it in their car when you walk by. If you're doing it, stop, because it's not good. Nobody wants to see it, and I don't think it's good for your body. I mean, maybe you raise your biome in some way. I don't know. But I am with kids that literally the finger goes in the nose, and it is like an automatic reaction that the next thing is it starts to go right for the mouth. And it's like, stop! Stop! Do we need bags to go around, barf bags in here for this flight, for today's flight? Watch the next time you see this Now Forever. We like to use a lot of secular music in Unity because when you get out into the world, right, you need your reminders. You don't always hear the church music on the radio, do you? Or in the store. But what you do hear is this other stuff that is so deeply embedded with people's personal experiences of transformation that you go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So from here on out, when you see a booger picker, you're going to go, oh, yeah, Lent. Live and embody a new thought. Get me off autopilot. Get me off autopilot. Do you know we have started the season of Lent? Last week it was Ash Wednesday, which kicks off the season of Lent. And from the Daily Word today, Mark 13:37, it said, keep awake. Keep awake. So in Unity, we dive into the metaphysics, the spiritual practice beneath things, the meaning behind the meanings, the almost earthy, full experience of what something is beyond what we inherited and we might be told it was, right? So we go into the deep curriculum of life. And we believe that scripture comes from that deep curriculum when taken from a metaphysical lens, right? So we take the historical, we look at the literal, we don't live it, but we look at the literal and we look at the mystical. And we find that there are seasons in scripture, and one of these seasons is Lent. And it is the time to awaken to the cycle of life and to awaken to that walk, that journey that Jesus the Christ took. And this is the time that the walk began. It's the time from the teaching through to the crossing out of error and the crucifixion and the raising and the consciousness and the knowing that we are one with our source, knowing that there is more to each moment than meets the eye. And so this time of Lent is kicked off by something really pretty incredible when you take it deep into the practice of the reminder to stay awake. Keep awake. Keep awake. And it's a time every year to look at whether or not we're stopping at the light and putting boogers in our mouths. I know, we're talking about boogers. We are. Laugh. It's good. Because what we are metabolizing and what we are digesting when we take in this life matters. And so this is the time of the year that we really step back, we pause, and we go, let me be awake. Let me be aware. Now, I grew up, as many of you did, in the Catholic tradition. And a lot of people in Unity somehow came through the Catholic path. And if you don't know that, most of our Daily Word subscribers are Catholic. Isn't that an interesting little fun fact? Well, I don't know if that's actually true anymore. It used to be true. But I grew up Catholic. And if you grew up Catholic, what happens during Lent time? You stop. We don't know because we haven't been practicing for so long. People don't know anymore. A lot of times people stop eating chocolate or stop eating meat, right? You restrict yourself from something. You take something you love and you stop doing it for the period of Lent until Easter. And the practice is there to wake you up, to go, okay, I am going to restrict myself from something I indulge in or something I like or something I do unconsciously. But it's kind of like a diet in the old school traditional thing. It's kind of like a diet. You do it for a little bit. And in fact, I think that's kind of how people do it. They try to take something maybe that either they like or that it's unhealthy for them and then stop doing it for a little while. But then what happens after Easter? Well, I mean, look at Easter, especially it's actually ironic that a lot of people give up chocolate because then look at Easter, right? And it's like, well, let me just make up for the past 40 days in one day. So in Unity, we take these practices and we apply them spiritually to our practice, knowing that where we eat our food is really in the mind, right? It's in the mind and in the heart. So what I take in, what I ingest, what I digest becomes part of my being. And so this is a time to look at the thoughts we're metabolizing. And in Unity, we practice that I fast from thoughts and thinking and actions that no longer serve me, no longer serve the highest good. And the idea is not to do it so much like a diet that when Easter comes, you're done and you go, now let me go back to all that stinking thinking. The idea is instead, how can I be transformed for this time so that when I move through this, I am no longer tempted to pick up what I was feeding myself before. So I'm no longer interested in engaging that I in fact have built a new habit, a new pattern that is more aligned with my being, more aligned with my conscious choices, because I stayed awake. I stayed awake. And it's a time to really look at that, a time to look at what are we participating in? What are we willingly doing to our own body being, our own minds, our own energy, our own communities, our own field? What are we doing to participate in and co-create that which we no longer want to feed? You know, the story of the two wolves. It's about two wolves and which one is going to, be the dominant one, the one that you feed. So it's like whatever we encourage, but there are times in our lives that we're just on autopilot and we're encouraging things that we don't want. We're actually feeding them, we're fueling them, right? Many of us are very present to that right now, of just really looking at what am I fueling, whether it's with my time, my talent, my treasure, my finance, whatever it is. What am I participating in? And I think there is a great call today to try to bring our hands back from anything that we're participating in that is not creating what we want to see. We're going, show me where I can pull back so I am not fueling what I don't want to create. And when we really look at that and we take an authentic look at that, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we're a living ecosystem. We are a living body. We are literally the definition of oneness. What we do has action. We share the same breath. We circulate. Where everything goes, it has a space and it has a place that it goes to, and it creates something. So we become more mindful of what it's creating, and we try to pull back and make a choice again. So we're not living in reaction, we're living in action. Every single one of us, right, buys things, does things that we don't want to contribute to. If you look behind the scenes, right? If anyone has a garage, you do it, right? We add to things we don't want to see. So how can we just become more conscious of that? Well, that's the idea of Lent. Lent is a time to step apart for a while and to look at our actions, our lives, and our own individual power and say, how am I using it? And what choice would I like to make differently now? Otherwise, we go on so much on autopilot, so much in reaction rather than mindful action. So I came up with this acronym years ago for Lent that helped me, and it was live and embody a new thought, L.E.N.T. Live and embody a new thought. If I were to engage in this 40-day practice and really fast from negative thinking or fast from, and then you fill in the blank, whatever it is that's up for you. If I were to fast from this and be vigilant with my mind and for 40 days disengage from this toxin or this thought pattern or this habit, whatever it is that no longer serves me or no longer serves the emerging paradigm of oneness, if I can step back from it for 40 days, I can break the habit, break the cycle. Isn't it interesting how psychology goes into the same things, right? Like we know in psychology that if you change a habit, it takes a little bit of time. But if you do it for at least 21 days, you're getting there. Who has broken a habit that didn't serve them? Who had a habit, right? Yeah, I mean, and is it powerful stuff? I mean, you might think, okay, we're talking about boogers and habits today. Little deal. It's a big deal, isn't it? Stand if it was a big deal in your life, shifting that habit. Will you stand with me? If you're on our Zoom, put it into the chat. I'm standing, or say what it is. A big deal, right? No one sitting beside you knows what a big deal it was that you changed that habit. You know what a big deal it was that you shifted. We honor you for shifting. Namaste. You can see it. It is no small thing. They think I'm done. That was so lovely. You guys can, yeah. I know. Well, we should be done. We should be done. There's always a moment that it's like, if you just go with that, you're done. Oh. So here we are. We are at the invitation point for shifting habits. And there is a transformational gift for each one of us and a transformational gift for our world. Because in life and in the human condition, we tend to end up as the sum of our habits. And what we have in every moment is only this present moment, this one that's right here. And when I automatically use it to go through the red lights, I'm not aware. Because those red lights come to us in the silence. And they whisper to us. And they teach us that there is another life waiting on the other side of that habit or that thought. So I want you to take a moment just in your own being and think about, is there something that you could fast from? What comes to you? And you may do more work with this later. Joe, if you want to play along with us, a little piano would be nice. So just breathe into that thought that there could be something I am to tune into right now, that I can do this. I can do just 40 days. And then I can ask myself at the end of 40 days whether or not I want to go back to that. What is it that I'm no longer willing to participate in, willing to say to myself, willing to take in, to receive? And when you get it, think of this statement: I am fasting from, and then find a way to put in those words. I am fasting from. And then add in the second line about whatever your affirmation is. Knowing that, and then you put in a power statement. Knowing that what is more powerful. Knowing that what's the opposite. What's the good that you want to create, that you want to make space for, be the space for, as you refrain from this thought. Maybe it's fasting from the feeling of impending doom. I am fasting from the feeling of impending doom, knowing that infinite possibilities lie all around us and within us. And where there's a will, there's a way. Whatever it is from you, whatever you're fasting from. And then putting in a statement of truth. And so it is. I invite you to also just think of a few things you can do instead, because when we release a habit, right, it's like we got to go to an affirmation, we've got to go to a support statement, but when we release a habit, we also need to put some things in there. So for myself, I put action, which for me is right action, gratitude, and compassion. I am fasting from, fill in the blank, knowing that, put in the affirmation. And when I am tempted and when I have to lay this down over and over and over again, I can instead, in that one moment I have, choose compassion, choose gratitude, or choose right action. I want to share with you just a moment of lifting up. We're all on this planet, right? For however many days that we're on this planet, right? And we have this one moment. So think about a lifetime and think about how all of those one moments come together and they create a lifetime, and they create a lifetime of impact, right? So it's like, what impact do we want to have? Because these little things make a difference. I want to celebrate Danny Cox today. If you haven't heard yet, our Danny Cox, who comes once a month to sing here, he lifted off and made his transition. And think about what he lived through. Think about in his lifetime what he lived through, the world he lived in from the time he was a baby in his mom's arms to his last breath. This is a man that focused on right action, and he focused on gratitude. He focused on living the Spirit and living love. And he has had a ricocheting impact on our community and on this whole Kansas City area. I want us to go into this experience. This is the last time he was here with us. Do we have sound on that? Okay. And this is how the Spirit moves. And we don't always know when the Spirit's moving, but it moves. I know you guys are saying we have sound on this, but oh, there we go. Okay. So let's breathe into Danny and just appreciate him. Find that place in your heart where you've experienced him in this sanctuary, and just that gratitude, the gratitude. Yeah, come on, guys. Be in here with us. I feel like I should turn a TV so you guys can see it.
I am so blessed.
You are, Danny, and you have blessed us.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful.
And we're blessing his family, his daughter, his son, his grandson.
So blessed.
so blessed. I am so blessed. I am thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
You would not believe it. You would not believe it if I told you. You would not believe it. You would not believe it if you saw it with your own two eyes. Sun-dappled little girl on the road from Kiev to Sarajevo. Papa's died from cannon fire, and Mama's in the war, and there is nowhere else to go. Oh, your soul. This is what your fear begets when love is left behind. Oh, your soul. This is what your broken heart is doing to your mind. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul. not believe it. You would not believe it if I told you. No, you would not believe it. You would not believe it if you saw it with your own two eyes. 50 dying souls locked inside a tractor trailer south of San Antonio. They were running for their lives, running for their lives, and there was nowhere else to go. Oh, your soul, this is what your fear begets when love is left behind. Oh, your soul, this is what your broken heart is doing to your mind. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul.
Thank you, Steve Epley. Thank you, our music team. We're grateful for you all, and we're grateful you're here. So we're going to continue with this clip to close off this Sunday. So when Danny was here the last time, he came with his daughter, and she doesn't come out and sing. And I had been speaking to his son and grandson, and they let me know that their mom sings too, and that she sings at home. And I was like, oh, can you get her to come sometime? Can you get her to come sometime? And I'm sharing this clip because this was our community's last earthly experience with Danny. If our minds are consumed with other things, we don't always get to show up in the way we can show up for the divine appointments. To say the things that need to be said, to create the space for incredible gifts to happen. So on behalf of our community, I'm glad and grateful that we have a community of practice, that we knew who he is, and that we created the space for his families coming together and singing together and blessing us, because what a gift, right? And that we did not miss the moments to say thank you. So powerful. And we are so blessed. Full gratitude that we resonate together. So grateful for like for real. This is just 110% real moment here. Your family, your voices, and the emanation of love and light that comes from it is like a healing field. And thank you. Like it really makes me go, we're the ones right now that get to soak in this energy together. So thank you. Family, we bless you. We love you. We appreciate the gifts that you are in our lives in Kansas City, in the music world. We are holding all of our musicians in prayer in this area, honoring a life well lived. And so it is. Friends, this is our charge. This is our calling. This is our moment. Namaste.